Coronavirus. Positive, so you need to self-isolate and quarantine yourself because the pandemic is not just about you.
One thing that I really wanted to understand more is how can one virus have so many symptoms and affect people differently. Hey guys, it's your girl Nat here. So a lot of you have been asking for an update on my coronavirus test. I did in fact test positive. I am feeling normal. I am feeling okay. It started with GI problems and then it kind of moved to my loss of smell, and that's also pretty common. And then I also mentioned in this video that I have experienced fatigue, which is also pretty common. I had such mild symptoms. Honestly, I didn't even really have a fever spike or anything like that. I have slight congestion in my nose and in my sinuses, but that also could be attributed to my allergies. And I still cannot smell anything. I can't taste anything. I have no body chills, no fever. My back feels fine. I wasn't sure if I was having back pain because I was on my menstrual cycle or if it was actually coronavirus. And I also asked my doctor about it. Can you catch COVID twice? So technically you can if it is the normal virus. Granted, doctors and scientists will never say never. So even though you might be exposed to the virus again, chances of you getting it again are probably not going to happen. The setup we did in my house just to ensure that I will not infect anyone else in my household is that we brought up a TV.
I'm not allowed to have a TV in my room even though I'm 22 years old, but house rules.
I also having cases of water in my room. All the food and beverages that are brought up to me, so tea in the morning or coffee in the morning, is just left at my front door, and I will put out the dirty dishes in my front door. I can't even take them downstairs to even help out a little bit. Now, I wanted to talk to you about what I've been doing in quarantine since I have been diagnosed with the coronavirus. That's the only time I have left my actual bedroom is to use the bathroom. I share a bathroom with my family members. There are Clorox wipes in there, and anytime I use the bathroom, I have to wipe down all the surfaces. I wear a 95 mask, so I would recommend using a 95 mask instead of just a surgical mask because they have filters in it. I have been eating food in my room, and regarding what I've been eating, I honestly have not been eating a lot. So I've actually lost 5 pounds since I have been diagnosed with COVID. So I've been drinking a lot of protein, which I recommend. I've also been drinking like kombucha, definitely trying to drink a lot of water. So I drink more water than the average human being, but on average I drink about 1.5 gallons of water a day. I know not a lot of people can relate to that. I just really like water. So I would recommend really upping your water intake. If you are new to vitamins and supplements, I wouldn't begin to add them just because that can really confuse your body. Because I can't taste anything, I haven't really been craving anything. It's a really weird sensation not being able to taste your food. From an emotional standpoint, things have been kind of strained in my household. My mom is really upset with me that I did contract the coronavirus. My mother has very intense anxiety about the whole pandemic. And then I will take daily walks in my neighborhood just to stretch my legs out. I try and get 10,000 steps a day, but I would have to wear my mask before I open the door. And when I leave, I always have to close my bedroom door. And yeah, just finding things to motivate you. I'm also working on a Albert Einstein portrait.
So just like little things like that can really make your day go by so much faster.
So I've been doing a lot more research on the whole coronavirus, and one thing I wanted to introduce you to is this podcast.
You can listen to it wherever you get your podcast from. I use Spotify.
I think they give reliable information. They interview a lot of doctors and scientists regarding the whole pandemic and what the coronavirus actually does to your body. I wanted to share this COVID research that I did. I heard it from this episode of the Science Versus podcast.
Just a little disclaimer, I am not a doctor, I am not a scientist, I'm not a med student.
I am an aspiring architect.
Please do your own research, don't take my word for it. There are so many doctors' articles and scientific journals that have been posting discoveries about the coronavirus on a daily basis just because it does have so much publicity. So please do your own research, don't take my word for it.
One thing that I really wanted to understand more is how can one virus virus have so many symptoms and affect people differently. One of the most interesting things I found is how the coronavirus actually latches onto your cells. I was educated on the ACE2 theory of COVID. Professor Ann Sheely is a immunologist and a virologist in Massachusetts. She has been studying the pandemic and the actual coronavirus, and basically she says that the ACE2 is the key to how the coronavirus enters the body. So 5 days after I was exposed to the novel virus, I lost my sense of smell, and basically she said that this sensation is because the ACE2 protein unlocked the healthy cells for the coronavirus to invade it. So the ACE2 protein is actually everywhere in our bodies. It's in our organs, it's in our lungs. So basically in my situation, because I lost my sense of smell, the ACE2 receptor was invaded, but in my nostrils, in my nose. And this just came from a conversation with the infected person. We were conversing and I lost my sense of smell, which is a super common symptom for COVID. The interesting realization though I had when I was listening to this podcast is that these ACE2 receptors are everywhere in the body, in your lungs, near your heart, in blood vessels, and also even in your GI tract. So I mentioned in my first video, which I posted a couple days ago, I mentioned there that I had some GI tract problems. Not to get like too personal, but that was a symptom that I had that has since gone away. One thing that has scared me though since learning more about the coronavirus, since I have tested positive, is that the actual virus can infect blood vessels and inflame them, and it also can clot blood vessels. So I am relatively healthy. I'm 22, I'm pretty active, and I eat really clean, but because there are ACE2 receptors there, I don't think anyone is immune to COVID just completely inflaming these blood vessels or causing blood clots. So this is why it is so important. If you have COVID, you need to self-isolate yourself, you need to quarantine yourself. Honestly, it's not that long. My quarantine ends on the 10th of July, but I literally feel fine. So I can understand why people are like, oh yeah, I'm over it. But this isn't just about you. This is about other people, older people, more high-risk category people who can get blood clots easily, who might have to be intubated. My age group and demographic might be able to handle this no problem, but there's definitely going to be demographics out there who can't. The podcast also answered an interesting question as to why the symptoms for everyone are so different and vast, and basically it just comes down to genetics. Some people with stronger immune systems will handle this like a champ, so your genetic makeup is really important. So I don't even know how strong or weak my immune system is since I was born abroad. I think it's also important to realize that viruses tend to have a wide variety of symptoms. The novel coronavirus has been receiving so much publicity and it's kind of scary, but it follows a typical virus pattern. For instance, with influenza is a lung infection, but it can also cause brain swelling. Ouch. So the mumps cause the saliva glands to swell. But for other patients with the mumps, it can cause intimate areas to actually swell. So if you guys want an update video, please just let me know. I just wanted to share some interesting scientific facts that I have personally discovered since contracting the disease. Like I mentioned in my last video, I think it is still so important to remain socially distant. The United States, in comparison to the rest of the world, has been on the rise of COVID cases, and I'm sure it's just going to get worse post 4th of July. So please stay safe this Independence Day. Yeah, so that's it. If you are watching this video and you are concerned that you may have coronavirus, I think attitude is honestly half the battle. I wasn't aware that like 80% of the cases are mild. As always, the CDC is going to have the most up-to-date information on the coronavirus, so I would encourage you to do that. I'm thinking and praying for you all that you do not have the coronavirus, but if you do, take a deep breath in, have a good attitude about it. I'm here for you. If you guys want to vent in the comments down below, I'll respond. I respond to every one of my comments on my channel. That's it for today's video. Stay safe, stay healthy. Love you guys.